Shifting focus away from the coronavirus and Asia to West Asia, where the Syrian army has made significant advances into the rebel-held Aleppo province. The headway comes a day ahead of crucial talks between Russia and Turkey. Residents in Aleppo were seen celebrating and waving Syrian flags as President Bashar al-Assad's forces regained most of the strategic northwestern province. Syrian state television broadcast footage of people celebrating at the Cordoba Square in Aleppo. While Aleppo residents celebrate, many in neighboring Idlib province continued to flee the fighting. Thousands fled to the Turkish border as clashes between government forces and rebels escalated. Meanwhile, rebels continue to resist the Syrian forces' advance in Aleppo countryside. Assad's forces have been emboldened after the capture of the M5 highway linking Aleppo to Damascus. The reopening of the fastest route between Syria's two biggest cities for the first time in years came as a major boost to the Syrian army. Meanwhile, Turkey, which has created a so-called de-escalation zone in Syria's Idlib province, warned Russia against intensifying the clashes. This as the Syrian ground forces are being aided by the Russian air power. Turkey says it cannot take in any more refugees. Remember, the country is already housing over 3 million Syrians who fled the conflict at home.
Ve Rusya ile biliyorsunuz yarın heyetlerimiz Moskova'da görüşecek. Öncesinde Sergey Lavrov'la görüşerek artık İdlib'de bu saldırganlığın durması gerektiğini vurguladık ve kalıcı bir ateşkes, bundan sonra ihlal edilmeyecek bir ateşkesi tesis etmemiz gerektiğini de söyledik. Bu konuları zaten heyetlerimiz yarın Moskova'da değerlendirecek.
Now, Turkey's NATO ally, the US, has also urged Russia to halt the fighting. In a call with his Turkish counterpart, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, US President Donald Trump said that Russia should stop supporting the Syrian regime. And now we have Amichai Stein, diplomatic correspondent of Israel Khan TV, joining us live from Jerusalem for more. Amichai, talk to us about the situation at this point in time. It remains as precarious as ever, if not getting worse by the minute.
So like you said, we're really in the burning point of all this conflict in Syria. This is the last area which is not under Assad control, and Assad is doing everything in the last few days together with his Russian allies really to conquer the last point where all the rebels from the other areas in Syria joined for the last fight over this territory. And Turkey also is in because she does support the rebels, she does support the Free Syrian Army, and we are really in the burning point because we saw another Syrian helicopter just has been fired at in recent days, and we are seeing completely the burning point at this point, and that's why all the major powers are talking together to try to de-escalate, because we've got Russia, we've got the US talking with Erdogan, we've got Assad forces, we've got everyone is trying to prevent a de-escalation and really a big fight, because like you said, Turkey said we are done, enough, we cannot have any more refugees, and that's why they are trying to win this battle. But the question is, and we saw Erdogan even threatening that they will respond if Syria will strike against their forces, they will see themselves free to respond everywhere they want in Syria. So we are not at an escalation yet, but we are on our way to this point right now. That's why everyone is talking with everyone to try and calm these things down, but it doesn't seem that way that it's going to de-escalation. It's being much more worse.
Amichai, I have just one more thing to ask you. With the retaking of Aleppo by Syrian government forces, the road between Aleppo and Damascus, which was closed down for years, is now reopened. How significant do you think that is going to be in putting a full stop to all the fighting eventually when all of the rebel-held regions are taken back by Syrian forces?
So, like you said, the road is a very symbolic road. It's for many years wasn't in Syrian government control. From the Syrian government, it was a symbol for them to hold, this connection between Damascus and their other major city, Aleppo. So this is for them a symbol that they fought for, really hard to get. But it's a big question, how much does it stop the rebels? Because, like I said, it's the last fight for these rebels. They came for all the areas around Syria. We've got many factions. We've got the Free Syrian Army, we've got Jabhat al-Nusra, we got many groups that are fighting the last fight. So it's a big question, how much will this stop them from continuing the fight against the Assad army, let's say, even after Assad gets complete control? Because, we can see maybe terror attacks against the Syrian army. It can look like we see in Baghdad sometimes, road and explosive devices against the army. So even if the big fight will end, it doesn't say that factions that will stay in the area won't continue their fight against the Syrian army.
Amichai Stein joining us live with that perspective straight from Jerusalem here on WION Dispatcher. Thank you, Amichai, for being with us on the broadcast. Shifting focus away.